Before you get all judgy, yes, I wear a hat to work. So for a long time growing up, I used to actually watch like a lot of stand up comedy. I remember actually like my earliest memory of stand up comedy is watching Comic View with my dad, and I learned about Lil Duval and Earthquake, and I think there was a couple of comedians who actually kind of there was that one dude who used to scream really that one dude who used to scream really loud key key. I forgot. I remember seeing that on Comic View like years ago. I just thought, stop saying my name. I thought it was the most hilarious thing on the planet growing up. Um, in any case, though, I was always told that I was always told that I was funny growing up, and I tried my hand at stand up comedy, and I did terrible at it. The first two times I did it, got a couple of laughs, got but the third time that I did it, I got booed off the stage, and that just made me realize, okay, I'm definitely not ready for stand up comedy. But I learned one thing I learned is that like stand-up comedians have a lot of pain, they have a lot of sadness, they have a lot of despair, and but they tell the story in such a way that you're just like, oh, that's funny. It's also kind of that's disturbing, but that's hilarious. And I realize now that I am not. I'm ranting and raving, and I can still be a little bit funny, because people love to laugh at other people's pain because everybody's a sociopath nowadays. So I figure because of all the crap that has been happening to me for the past few days, I'm going to try my best to talk about that as if I'm doing a stand up comedy, as if I'm doing a stand up comedy thing, okay? And you get a chance to tell me how I did. With that being said, I need y'all to understand. I do intend on trying to make you laugh, but if you come up in here being like, your delivery was terrible, you can't really do that, you gotta do this. If you're trying to get serious about stand up comedy, I'm not. I'm just really, really, really trying my best because like I can go up in here and just be as morose and as depressed as I can be. You know this. Anybody who's watched my lives and watched my old videos before, you know how depressed I am. You know how sad I am. You know how down the dumps I am. And you also probably know bits and pieces of this past weekend, this past week that I've had, the past couple days that I had. In any case, I'm trying my best to make good of a bad situation. So just bear with me on this, okay? Um, what's up, everybody? I'm the Unbalanced Minds. How y'all doing out here today? I had a bad couple of days, y'all. Let me start this off by actually. Let me start this off positively. So, okay, so any of y'all ever actually had like things sort of go right for y'all, at least to some degree, right? Like it's like every so often it's like because I'm a depressed person. I have depression. It's really bad. My depression comes from like feelings of hopelessness and powerlessness and that crippling despair that comes from just like years of bad memories. But every so often I am like there comes a random moment where I am reminded that things are not completely terrible. And I had that little moment. I had that little glimpse. I had that little, like when the clouds pass by the sun. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's a little break in the clouds. You know what I'm saying? Like a little, just a little, just a little. Things aren't that bad. Okay, yeah, okay, but they're still pretty. They can still get bad. But for that moment right there, it wasn't bad. I had that moment for just a couple of. I had that moment. Okay, so initially, like I said, obviously, got fired from my job, got a new job, right? That was a good part. Like I was fired from my job, got a new job. I really hate the fact that I can't really talk. Like I kind of really hate the fact that I just say you got a new job after getting fired from the old one because there's a lot more that happens in between that. But for the sake of brevity, like I said, I was trying to get on unemployment and it was like no, and so it was like I was really just sort of like flat on my back here. I have no clue how I survived those months where I didn't have a job because I was going hard in the paint trying to find a job, dog. I was ripping and running everywhere. I was begging everybody for a job until I ultimately got one, literally down the street from where I live, not walking distance, which sucks, but whatever. In any case, though, I go in, I'm doing my thing, I'm working, working again. I'm also working a little bit better. Y'all already know the story of how I got from one spot to another spot in my job and ultimately started like being able to get more hours and stuff like that. And I was doing pretty well. Like, my roommate came in, you know what I'm saying, and now I'm going halvesies on rent. You know what I mean? Because it's like, like he's going half on rent, so like now I can actually save up a little bit more money, so I can go save up to go back to wrestling training, because the whole thing is I want to be a professional wrestler. So I'm like, let's do this thing. I'm ready to get back into it. Yeah, I know being a professional wrestler is a little ridiculous sounding, but you have to really take into consideration like every job that everybody's dream job is just something that they wanted to be since they were a child. Okay, for some people it's cartoonist, for other people it's mechanical engineer, for other people it's a doctor. For me, I saw Rey Mysterio do a head scissors takedown, and I was like, I can do that. I can do that. You know what I'm saying to me? Hey, I'm also a performer at heart. That's why I'm standing in front of a camera right now. In any case, though, I'm going in any case, like I said, I like money's going okay. I can finally go back to training. Got a better job, and I don't know when it started, but I just remember I went over to the grocery store, try to get some groceries. You know what I'm saying? I normally get like my fair share of amount of groceries. I'm trying to eat, microwavables, junk food, a little bit of junk food. I'm trying to eat healthier by drinking juice. You know, like I know that fruit juice is not the same as eating fruit, but fruit is expensive. Vegetables are expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't just and also my stove is broken. I don't know what context of my stove being broken has to me trying to eat healthier by eating fruits and vegetables, but I just feel like I have to throw that in there. Stove is broken. Fruits and vegetables are expensive. Fruit juice is up there. Why not, right? I'm pretty sure I could placebo the heck out of it. Just be like, I'm eating fruit. You know what I'm saying? In any case, though, you know what I'm saying? I throw a little apple cider vinegar up in there too, just to just to spice it up. I hope that made you laugh as much as it made me laugh. That was funny. In any case, though, I'm going in. And also I used to have this thing where I would go over to my job, right? Like this is how my workflow at my job would go. My workflow at my job would be I get out of my car. I always go to work kind of early because I like the idea of just sitting in before, just sort of just sitting in and just sort of just being, before it's time for me to like do it. Okay, so obviously times the time to just reminisce on the fact that I used to like not have to work, just sort of like settles in for a little bit before I have to just get ready, right? I go to my area, which is called the loader area. So I go over the loader area. It's everything is like unlocked for me because the guy who works in lumber has unlocked everything because he was there earlier. So he unlocks the loader area. I'm ready to just go ahead and just get ready with my day. I do my counts. You know what I'm saying? I do my counts. I try to leaf blow. I use a leaf blower to try to clean up the area and stuff like that. I just do all of this stuff that I kind of have to do. It's a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But the good thing is that like I got my the guy who works in lumber with me. Because I don't work in lumber. I work in the area outside of lumber. You know what I'm saying? Try to get everything situated. He works in the building. I work out the building. I just realized the context of that, and he's also much lighter skinned than I. You know what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's not a joke. That is somebody's history. We're not doing that. In any case, though, but the fact of the matter is that like he goes in, he's doing his thing. I go in, I do my thing. Whenever I need help, I can go refer to him, and whenever he needs help, he can go refer to me. Notice how I'm only referring to myself and him. The reason why is because of the fact that my job, like every job in this country, has this thing that they do where they only have like one person working in every department. So if you're in this department, you only got one person. You're working in that department, you only got one person. You're working in this department, you only got one person. If you ever go into a place and be like, hey, excuse me, can you help me with something? And that person says, oh, I'm sorry, I don't work in this department. Let me go get the person who does. That person is probably helping out like four other people because there's only like one person in that area, and you just happen to encounter somebody who just probably has to walk through that area in order to get to their area. You know what I'm saying? And this is every job. You know what I'm saying? This is every job. This is like it's a phenomenon. Once upon a time, the phrase understaffed used to be kind of like a myth. Now it's like now it's basic corporate business practice. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. In any case, though, but getting back to me and lumber guy over here. Whenever the lumber guy needs help, I got him. Whenever I need help, he got me. That's what we do. We are a team. until his seasonal contract expires. And then it's like, we're a team. We us. No, just you. Now I need y'all once again. I need y'all to understand. I don't work in lumber. I work in the area outside of lumber. Okay, so whenever somebody decides to go to the lumber area, they're gonna see my face first. You see what I mean? They see my face before they go into the building. Then they see his face when he goes into the building. Now, his face is not there anymore. So guess whose face they're going to be asking for when they need something going on in lumber, which is almost all the time. Because if you ever go into a lumber yard, everybody's up in there. Like nobody buys this one thing of wood. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always like 100 or 200 or 40, 50 pounds or 30, 60 pounds or something like that. There's always some crap like dealing with the forklift, which, by the way, he knows how to drive. I do not. I spot him. No big deal. Now, you probably might be asking yourself, hey, how come you're not getting your forklift? Because do you remember the whole one person, one department thing? In order for me to get out of my area to learn the forklift, one person has to be in my area doing my job while I learn the forklift. Who am I going to go to? I'm gonna be like, hey, can you help me out? Can you get in my area and watch the? Can you get into the pro area, the loader area, and just kind of, watch that while I try to learn this forklift? And they're like, yeah, I can do that, but first I got to find somebody who's gonna like watch my area while I watch your area. It's a whole thing, okay? It's a very hungry caterpillar type situation. No. There's got to be a reference. There's a shortage, okay? Now, you probably might be telling, now if you're a smart person, you're going to probably be like, well, how come they don't just hire more people? Yeah, I said the same thing. I mean, but it's, it's a corporation, so corporations are like, we need to find ways to save more money, and that means less workers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're stupid, you're going to be like, nobody wants to work anymore, so that's why you got to do more work. You know what I'm saying? Which is the dumbest thing I ever heard, because like everybody I know wants to work. Everybody I know is like, looking for a job, and it's like, nobody wants to hire. We really do need to start saying, well, nobody really wants to hire anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because like bro, like that's all it is. But yeah, coworkers gone. So and this is it's Monday, so it's like I got a whole week of this until like they find somebody else, right? So like I don't know what it's gonna look like. All I know is I'm gonna be spending an entire week telling a whole bunch of people, hey, I'm sorry, I don't know how to use a forklift. I don't work in lumber. I apologize. And it's just gonna be a whole bunch of people saying, well, how come the person who is in lumber is not here? I'm like going, I'm just as befuddled as you are. And that is what's gonna ultimately get me in trouble. Because I'm a very calm person when I'm at work. You know what I mean? And that, my calmness could be passed off as sarcasm. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm not just gonna react to you. Like I have depression. I have depression. I grew up abused. Everybody, like, people will hate me. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't go through this entire life being hated, abused, and mistreated, and like you don't whatever fire that is it left in my spirit has been doused years ago by another person saying, what are you gonna do about it? Cry? Splash. No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm just gonna stare. But yeah, so stuff's getting more expensive, job is about to get much more challenging. But you know what? I told myself, you know what? I'm single now. I'm going through this. I'm going through probably a bit of a midlife crisis that is technically, like, apparently my bad luck that I thought that I had has just hit environmental levels. You know what I'm saying? Like now, coworkers gone, everything's more expensive. There's all this other stuff that's happening. You know what I'm saying? I just told myself, I'm going to try to distract myself in the most obvious way a man knows how to do it. And that is by trying to date. You know what I'm saying? So I actually go into one of these ridiculous apps. And it's like, one thing is like, people is like, try Tinder, right? I mean, unfortunately I have to, I have to take a selfie, or, you know what I mean? I gotta look the part, kinda. Go in, I get these apps. You know what I'm saying? There was somebody who I matched up with within a couple of days. We were talking for a little bit. They seem like a real person. I'm told that you got to watch out for fake accounts trying to steal your money. So I'm like, I'll talk to this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually heard their voice on the phone, which like just sort of blew my mind. Like, holy crap! I can actually call them up on the phone. And then I realized, oh crap, they got my number now. So like, I might get murdered. I don't know yet. But probably not anytime soon because we were supposed to actually go on a date and they just ghosted me and just that was it, which is fine. Like I don't mind getting ghosted by a stranger that I don't mind getting ghosted by a stranger that I matched up with on a dating app because it's like getting ghosted probably means that they probably realize that I don't have anything worth stealing and they just didn't consider the option, or I'm not really anybody like that hey, I wasn't worth murdering today. You know what I'm saying? Like granted, you know what I'm saying, I clearly left that night unmoisturized, but the fact of the matter is that like at least I'm not dead, right? At least I'm not dead from that encounter. I might be dead from something else, but not from that. So that person goes to me, and I could be angry about it and come up in here and be like, this is why women are so bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta you gotta get with the, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get alpha. You gotta get alpha, sigma, pi, aliens. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out there and find out your true potential, and buy my soap that makes you smell like a man. You know what I'm saying? I could do some crap like that, but instead I just said, well, at least I didn't get murdered. So there's that, right? I didn't get murdered. You have any idea how easy it is to get killed nowadays? I'm literally like, I think I got like a whole bunch of information like online right now that I don't even probably remember ever putting on there. So there's a great chance that there's somebody out there right now just going, you know what, I'm bored. I might just, just like smoke a guy, and I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here in my apartment, like just sitting here in my apartment, like you realize that like aliens are you ever like sit by and wonder if aliens are real, and all of a sudden somebody kicks down my door, just blammo. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. I really do need to stop talking about death. I realize now how often I talk about my death. It's not great. This was supposed to be funny, and I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna think the idea of he's dead. That's funny. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective. My perspective is that like everybody hates me so much that the thought of me dying brings them enough joy for them to just get a slight chuckle out of. God, I'm weird. But in any case, though, like I said, man, so here's a recap. Everything has gotten more expensive. My coworker is gone, so now I'm going to be flying solo at my job, and I got ghosted but not murdered from a Tinder encounter. Which, by the way, after that happened, I just completely got rid of my Tinder account. I tried this app called Bumble. I'm trying to see how that works. I don't know anything about anything when it comes to these apps, so I am just looking ridiculous right now. But with that being said, you know what I'm saying? Like, I probably might end up getting rid of that app too. I don't know yet. I don't think I did good with this. I don't think I did good with this at all. So there's gonna be a whole bunch of there probably might be a handful of hate comments like, well, maybe if you, I know I didn't do that bad, man. But it felt good to say all this though. It really did. It felt good to say all this because I'm less depressed now. I'm just moving with the motions. You know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling at this point right now. Like now that I realize how bad this upcoming week is probably going to be for me, I can kind of go through it knowing that it's not going to be that bad because I got a silly video of me talking about it on the internet that I posted up. But in all seriousness though, it's just getting worse. I don't know. It's just getting worse. I'm trying my best to feel good about this, but it's not happening. This sucks, as Carl said once on that episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. But do I look upset? Your hair looks terrible. I know. Shut up. That's my time though. I'm Unbalanced Minds. Love and peace to every single one of y'all out there. Tip your waitress. I'm gonna go drink me some. I'm gonna go eat me some fruit, and by that I mean drink me some fruit juice that has apple cider vinegar up in it, and call that healthy eating. Love and peace, Al. That's my time.